went to Staples yesterday to get that long Ethernet cable and a couple other dongle related things because MacBooks are the worst. And the woman at customer service, because I had called ahead of time to make sure that they had the stuff. And they said, yeah, we'll just put it in customer service for you. Really nice. The woman at customer service, her name tag said Sarah. So I was like, oh, I'm Sarah too. And she's like, really? How do you spell it? And I'm like, well, same with an H. And she was like, wow. It would be so funny if you were left-handed. And I'm like, I am. And she's like, what? I'm like, first of all, 30% of the world's population is named Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah's not.
So I'm like, probably the sixth one you've talked to already today. Yeah. Uh-huh. And the left-handed thing was a little bit out of nowhere, but also not that uncommon.
Sure. The combination starts to make it. She was so nice about
it. Like, it was adorable. Like, I made her day somehow just by existing.
Did you guys like
from Northern California? Are you?
Did you guys trade like Facebook profiles or something?
We didn't, but I mean, like,
getting dinner soon.
And I was kind of in a hurry, right? Because it was like an hour before showtime.
Hey, sir, you know how we are. We're always in a rush. Like, give me that thing so I can get out of here.
Yeah, but it was like we kind of did end up like talking because she was like, "Do you want to be a rewards customer?" And I'm like, "Eh." And you know that usually you're just like, "No, I don't." But then I kind of let her tell me about it, and then I gave her a nice review online. And she asked.
Maybe that's her sales pitch: is to always like overemphasize commonalities.
Your name is Tom too?
My uncle's name isn't Tom.
Like she has like 100 different name tags. Does like weird stalker research before people come in.
I kid you not. I came out of Best Buy in the East Bay and up in San Francisco, near San Francisco, like Walnut Creek. And the woman, the cashier, young lady, she had her name tag said Cinderella on it. And I asked her, is that like, are you a fan of the band? Are you a fan of the fairy tale?
Are you a fan of the band?
I like that that's where you went first.
Right. Good. Yeah, that's, we're all.
Or did your parents just, drink too much red wine the night? They were coming up with names for their daughter. It's like, my manager came up with it.
Oh, that's not actually her name. No. I'm sure there are some Cinderellas out there.
Yeah.
There's probably lots of Disney character names. I haven't met any that I can think of.
Lilo.
Stitch. Aladdin. A lot of those.
Yeah. Bambi.
Rapunzel. Is that a Disney? No, it's not a Disney.
Yeah, well, they turned it into.
I mean, all the Grimm's fairy tales eventually became Disney something.
Okay, yeah. They all princesses and
Peter Pan was the first. So many
Dumbos.
Oh God, I cannot even. It's just too much for me.
What, Dumbo?
It's so sad.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even more than Bambi, if that's possible. I love elephants.
Oh.
Who doesn't?
Justin
Robert Young. That's who doesn't.
I would say once a year, somebody I know will go to one of the many elephant sort of sanctuaries that exist around the world. And it's just like that's my dream. Well, my dream would be to live at one, but you
want to live at an elephant sanctuary. Why don't you? Well, let's make this happen. Let's make it a Patreon level. With
SpaceX's new low orbiting satellites, maybe the show will go on from Chiang Mai, where I live at the elephant sanctuary. I mean that's a little bit dramatic, but I would like to visit one, which I never
Have you seen the video of the young woman with the little baby elephant? I think it was at Chiang Mai, like it's on YouTube or whatever, and it comes up to her and starts like
rolling around.
Yeah, with her the baby elephant's like a puppy, like is acting like a little puppy.
I mean, it's just the cute factor. I can't handle it.
Sarah, I need to interrogate this dream of yours.
Known elephant hater, Justin Robert Young.
Who interrogates a dream?
They're majestic, beautiful creatures. Here's what how familiar with are you of the smell of elephant excrement on a hot day?
Not very.
I am very familiar with this because we had a circus camp in the park behind my house when I was growing up.
Of course you did.
Do yourself a favor. Go to Busch Gardens in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Gardens, Tampa.
Just go on that little elephant tour. And while you will understand the true majesty of nature, you will also smell things that you will never want to smell again.
It doesn't stink. It ain't nature.
That I mean it does give me a slight pause. But you know, lots of things smell bad, right?
Sure.
I mean, look,
Sure.
I would just say you would have to understand. Like there are like some people that it just it goes away, right? Like in the same way that you know when you're living in San Francisco, at a certain point you just kind of avoid the needles in the human feces. Like
right, yeah.
Like
you spend how much a year? $30 million.
The puddles all look the same.
I mean, even at the gym I go to, I try not to be weird about it, but it's like sometimes I'm too close to something that I don't like the smell and I move.
Sure.
Usually easy to avoid. Maybe not at the elephant sanctuary though.
That's what I'm saying. Is that we are talking about a mushroom cloud. If you were to like identify smells by color, like it would be a mushroom cloud at all times.
Do we feel like there's some scientific way to make the elephant dung smell better?
No. Yes. Keep away.
Diet and exercise.
No, they're just very inefficient digesters, so they poop a lot.
I mean, no, I guess if you were to figure out a plumbing situation, and so it wasn't just left right out there to bake in the sun,
that would help. That would help. I like this idea of an additive to the diet that changes it to smell good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it smells that way because it's not the elephant; it's the bacteria that lives in the dung.
No, that's where I'm going.
That you would be fundamentally altering the biome of the elephant to make.
Well, wait a sec. How about just a lot more cleanliness at the sanctuary? Because it sounds like it's the fact that it's sitting there and getting
warm.
That's
the plumbing. That's the plumbing issue.
Well, but even then, look, I'm going to salute the fine staff of Busch Gardens in
Tampa,
in Tampa, Florida, in that they are running a tourist attraction. It is in their interest to make it smell as less as they possibly can, and yet it still smells like a bunch of elephants took a poop in the same pile.
Because they did.
Because they literally did right in front of you.
Does Busch Gardens have any like marine animal attractions like seals or nothing?
This is a family show, and I don't want to go into the process, but
yes.
Not to take us away from the wonders of watching wild animals exhibit for human entertainment. Are we good with all the times on the stories?
It's a little late.
Seems legit
to process that. Sure. I'm just going to say yes because that's easier.
Yep.
All right. Sarah, can you do the open?
Nope.
All right. Justin?
No, I can. Sorry.
I know.
I was just posting on Facebook really quick.
Oh, yeah. I was going to retweet you too.
Oh, good. Okay.
But
I'll retweet as well.
Okay. I'm posting on Facebook first. Calm down, everybody. Yeah. Deep breaths.
I don't see the Twitter, though. Where's the Twitter, Sarah?
That's what I'm doing right now. Facebook was first. Okay.
Just one question. I don't see the Twitter.
Where's the Twitters?
Real quick question.
Okay, it's there now. If you don't see it, I can't help you.
I see something from Michelle Malkin and Ryan Summers.
I see I'm right between, in my timeline anyway. Oh, this is kind of a fun game because depending on who you follow, I'm between XXL Magazine and Hype Beast.
Yeah, I'm between Amazon Music plugging George Strait and a retweet by Ashley Yates.
Okay.
I still don't see her post.
Well, why don't you refresh your page?
It's updating.
I retweeted it.
Oh, man. Oh, you're over in my friends list. Nice TweetDeck.
Oh, TweetDeck.
You're right above Guy Branum right now.
Okay.
But also TweetDeck just locked up.
Oh. TweetDeck is too much for me. Well, that's not true. I mean, you can set it up lots of different ways, but it's like... It's never been my favorite.
It's the only way I'd ever see a lot of people's tweets because of the ability to do the lists and stuff.
Yeah, I just mute everybody.
Right.
Sure.
And then don't tell them. And then pretend I know what's going on in their lives. I don't really do that very often, but sometimes. And yes, I can kick us off.
Okay, I'm really trying to retweet this. There we go. Come on.
Come on, little buddy.
There we go, little buddy. You can stream the whole show, but you can't pull up a tweet. All right. Here we go. 3, 2.
Daily Tech News Show is powered by you. To find out more, head to dailytechnewsshow.com/support.
This is the Daily Tech News for Thursday, February 22nd, 2018 from DTNS headquarters in Los Angeles. I'm Tom Merritt.
And from Studio Feline 2.0, I'm Sarah Lane.
And from Oakland, California, it's me, Justin Robert Young.
And with us as well, our intrepid producer, Roger Chang.
Intrepid, the name of the starship in Voyager, or was that Voyager? Wait, what was the
Voyager? Was
Intrepid
the name
class?
of a starship. There was also the Intrepid in many Star Trek series.
All right.
We'll allow it. Let's start with a few tech things you should know.
Amazon's new cashier-free store, Amazon Go, may get 6 more stores this year, mostly in the Seattle area, but 1 possibly at the Grove in the Los Angeles area, sources tell Recode. The first Amazon Go store opened last month. It was delayed about a year long, and the concept is that shoppers use what the company calls walkout technology. So you scan your phone upon entering, you take your items off the shelves, and then you automatically get charged as you leave the store.
That'll never cause a problem in the overcrowded Grove, I'm sure.
I want to try it out. You know?
Me too.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the inevitable Mario Lopez feature. Bloomberg reports that its sources say Apple's planning to release new AirPods with an improved wireless chip and ability to activate Siri by voice rather than tapping the earphones. Apple may also make the AirPods water resistant in the 2019 update.
So showering with AirPods. Maybe that'll get me to buy them.
Maybe that'll keep me from leaving them on airplanes.
If they could just make Siri more robust, we are moving rapidly to the her world in the Spike Jones sense.
Lighthouse AI is selling its Lighthouse security camera for $299 as an all-in-one AI system for the home. It records a 24-hour feed and stores it for up to 30 days, and then uses 3D sensors and some machine learning to be able to keep track of known faces, so it doesn't give it false positives, and tells the difference between you and your pets.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. Service costs $10 a month, or you can pay $200 for lifetime service. Lifetime of the device, not you. Let's talk a little bit more about what actually happened regarding net neutrality.
Well, I think it's a high time that somebody talked about net neutrality, and we're going to be the first to do it.
What's up with net neutrality, Justin?
What is this net neutrality? I've never heard of it before.
Well, take a knee, kids. As I explained to you this sordid tale, the U.S. FCC published its new rules reversing net neutrality guidelines in the Federal Register Thursday. The rules go into effect 60 days from publication, meaning April 23rd. Any congressional action to block the rules directly would need to happen by then. Several states and organizations are expected to sue the FCC over the rules as well.
So April 23rd is the day the internet shuts down.
Yes.
Great.
Anarchy, anarchy, anarchy.
Yep. You'll have to pay. It'll work like a coin operated device. You'll just put in dollar bills.
Exactly. You will have to pay $6 extra a month to hear people say cross things about Ajit Pai on Twitter.
Right. That is why he wanted net neutrality. Is just block all of the mean things people say about him. No, in all seriousness, April 23rd is the day the rules actually go into effect. So there's been a lot of anxiety over this. But if any ISP were to make a change because of this change in rules, it couldn't happen before April 23rd. And there's possibility that court orders might affect this. There's plenty of court cases going to happen. Usually they don't. There were plenty of court cases the last time they changed in 2015. None of those affected the actual implementation of the rules.
And let's just say this is the time to push push your local congressperson, push the people that are looking to take congressional action on this. This is the time to do it. You have a deadline. Politicians love deadlines.
So whatever your opinion, we're not saying you have to be for, against, or otherwise, but if you have an opinion, express it now. This is the time.
All right, moving on. Last December, Disney filed a lawsuit over Redbox selling digital download codes for Disney films separate from the DVDs that the codes came in. The Hollywood Reporter says a California federal judge rejected Disney's request for an injunction to stop this practice, saying the wording on the box was not enforceable as a contract and that Disney was misusing copyright law in trying to prevent the sales. Redbox has distribution deals with other studios like Warner Brothers, which allows it to buy physical DVDs and Blu-rays and then offer them as rentals at its kiosks. But with Disney, Redbox buys retail copies of the films and then rents those discs, but also sells the digital download codes from the physical copies at a fraction of the price, which is obviously what's upsetting Disney the most.
This may have been a miscalculation on Disney's part. Disney doesn't like Redbox not paying them royalties. Disney didn't want to give them the discs because they rent them for so cheap. So Redbox went out and paid full retail price, which they have the right to do, right? A first sale allows them to rent the full physical copies. But to rub it in Disney's face, Redbox started selling the codes that come in the box. Disney said, we say on the box you can't do that. We're taking you to court over this. Redbox says, great, law's on our side. We own the disc. And as long as we don't cash in that code before we sell it, we can give it to whoever we want. And the judge agreed, setting a precedent and labeling Disney as misusing copyright, which that could have a chilling effect on future copyright cases from the company that is probably most responsible for the vast number of years that copyright exists in protection because they wanted to keep Mickey Mouse under copyright.
Yeah, this is a tremendous. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's tremendous. It certainly is it is a fight in the front of Disney's varied copyright protection kind of battles, right?
Yeah.
And Redbox, look, Redbox is a tremendous evolution of that kind of media distribution, and I don't know. I would guess that this would maybe lead to more cooperation between Redbox and Disney now that everything's kind of settled, but who knows?
Well, and I wouldn't say this is necessarily over. I'm sure Disney will pursue further legal avenues if then any exists. But it certainly is a big setback that I think a lot of people thought Redbox was overreaching here, and apparently they weren't. Airbnb Plus launched this morning, offering higher end accommodations to compete with hotels. Each Airbnb Plus home is vetted. There's an editorially curated list of them. They send professional photographers out to take really good looking photos of the places. And they have to meet a checklist of amenities that's more than 100 items long. That goes from things like, toiletries being available to, good art on the wall, stuff like that. Hosts of Airbnb Plus properties must have a rating of 4.8 or higher. They have to pay to be part of the program. And more than 2,000 listings are live right now in 13 cities worldwide. So Cape Town, Sydney, Melbourne, London, all across the world. Airbnb Plus average costs will be around $200 per night. That's double the average listing on Airbnb, which is around $100 a night. Airbnb also added new categories, vacation homes, and bed and breakfast categories to the site. That legitimizes, but that makes it easier for hotels that already list on Airbnb, like bed and breakfast, to show up in the right category. And a luxury tier called Airbnb Beyond is planned to launch this spring.
It's like what? Like the best thread counts ever. Like, what is Airbnb Beyond? If Airbnb Plus is already, amenities of a 100 item long list.
Sarah, if you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Well, that's true. It's funny. I was just in New York last week, as you all know, and we stayed in an Airbnb. There were a few of us, and it was one of the nicest Airbnbs I've ever been in. Wasn't fancy, but it was big. And in New York City, it doesn't happen very often. And yeah, it was, there were linens, there were towels, there was extra blankets, blah, blah, blah. All this sort of stuff was lovely. The one weird thing was that at one point it was cold. It was snowing outside. And I texted the host, who had been really great. Hey, where's the heat? We can't figure out where the thermostat is. And he goes, oh, don't worry, I'll do it remotely from here. And at that point we were like, check the smoke alarms. Is this place like outfitted with cameras? Because it just felt so like, oh, that seems like something that we should have, control over. But it was the one thing where I was like, sort of weird, don't want to have to text you again when I'm cold later to do that sort of thing. But those are the sorts of amenities that they come up even if you don't necessarily know you want them.
This is also Airbnb trying to brand themselves as not something where you have to compromise. I think the compromising of I'm going to stay at a stranger's house is cool if you think that you are getting a better experience or a cheaper experience. But once you are at that $200 a night level, you don't want to make compromises. You want to get exactly what you want and have a better, more richer experience. And that is, I think, what they're looking to do here. At 4:50 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, February 21st, 2018, the year of our Lord, Kylie Jenner tweeted, quote, "So does anyone else not open Snapchat anymore? Or is it just me? ... Ugh, this is so sad."
Oh, it really is.
At
That is so
5:01, she tweeted, "Still love you though, Snap, my first love." The Snap stock suffered in today's trading, although who knows exactly how much. Kylie's judgment, her withering judgment, related to the stock price.
Well, probably a lot. You know, she's their number one user. It's I don't know. It's half the time it sort of seemed like she was keeping the whole thing afloat. Well, she and other members of her family, but it's also kind of. She was also part of the group that signed that petition to change the redesign, right? Or to revert back to the old redesign. So this doesn't necessarily mean that she really thinks that people aren't using Snap anymore. It might just be a way to, flex your power.
She has 24.5 million Twitter followers and one of Snapchat's most popular users, as you mentioned. This reads like a casual tweet. Is this calculated though?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's
stock price, but
yeah.
Listen. No. I don't think it's calculated because with that family, if she didn't plug her Instagram and you could assume that they were getting money from Facebook, then I think this is just her own opinion. That they are not shy about cashing in when they need to cash in.
The stock had been recovering from a little bit of jitters around the redesign until today.
Wait, do you short sold the stock?
At this recording, it's down 6.06%.
If Kylie Jenner short sold the Snap stock and then said that she doesn't open Snapchat, that would be amazing.
We need to know. Probably didn't. We're not accusing her of anything. Let's just be clear.
We're not accusing. Would that be insider trading? I don't know. Who knows?
I doubt it.
Well, how about this one? Engineers from MIT injected watercress. Okay, listen closely. With nanoparticles that cause the leaves to emit a dim light suitable for reading for 3.5 hours. Yes, trees. The nanoparticles included the enzyme luciferase, which is created by lightning bugs. The scientists hope to be able to use the nanoparticles on larger plants to provide a natural source of illumination. Michael Strano, professor of chemical engineering at MIT, told the Daily Mail, quote, "Our work very seriously opens up the doorway to street lamps that are nothing but treated trees and to indirect lighting around homes."
This is going to look great in my Airbnb Beyond.
The palms that turn into lights at night.
Pay a premium, no street lamps. Everybody hates those so much.
See, that's
I love this idea, though. It's just to be able to do it and say that you did.
I don't think it matters with street lamps. I like a good street lamp, to be honest, unless they have the sodium light, which bugs me. But street lamps can look
old, man.
Street lamps can look cool. What I think this would be great for is lights on the walkways up to like hotels or mansions. Apparently, those are cool looking, right? But a lot of times they're buggy, they fall apart, and then they don't look so good or whatever. And during the day, if you notice them, sometimes you're like, oh, those are the lamps. They don't look so great during the light. But if it's just plants during the day, looks really nice. And then at night they glow. That's amazing. I love it.
I mean, we already have cell phone towers disguised as trees, and sometimes I'm fooled.
Right.
So, more trees that actually do other things, I'm down for that.
Well, I think the interesting thing here is seeing it applied, in a more a regular fashion. Like when you're able to get these from Home Depot or Build a Square. Do they sell Build a Square? Then that'll, I think, be where we can kind of really experiment with them in a landscape capacity.
And we're far away from that. They're doing this in the lab right now. Obviously, just want to put that out there. But very interesting. I'm 3.5 hours isn't a lot So they need to make them last longer. They don't need a power source per se, though. They're kind of powered by the plant. So I mean, yeah. How cool would it be to have a bedside plant that
I think is the interesting thing. It's just if there is like I could like low indirect lighting like in your house like while you sleep is a good idea if you want.
And all that oxygen too. I mean, plants are good for you.
I don't have a green thumb. All the plants I have indoors die. I think light.
And you live in darkness, Roger.
You have to water them, Roger. You have to water them.
I killed my bedside lamp again. Damn it. Folks, if you want to get all the tech headlines each day in about 5 minutes, subscribe to Daily Tech Headlines at dailytechheadlines.com. Available in the newly redesigned Anchor app, more podcasting friendly than ever. It's quite nice looking now. Also available on the Amazon Echo as a flash briefing, on the Google Home, and as a podcast, as I said, at dailytechheadlines.com. So, if you want to know everything Samsung's going to announce Sunday at Mobile World Congress, you can find out with a quick search or just go to Google News. Pretty much everything they're going to announce has been leaked. We're going to wait until the actual announcement. We'll get to that on Monday. But something that has been announced and will be shown off during Mobile World Congress are always connected PCs. And I think this is an interesting product development to examine. The idea is they wake from sleep fast like your phone, and they stay connected without needing Wi-Fi like your phone can. They can use Wi-Fi. They're not taking Wi-Fi out, but they're saying you should be able to get online with a laptop as easy as you do with a phone or a tablet. Both Intel and Qualcomm have versions of this, and I'll run down what each of them is offering so far. And then I want to get your thoughts on whether you think this is the next tablet, which is what they want you to think, the next netbook, or the next UMPC. And if you don't know what a UMPC is, exactly. That's kind of my point. Qualcomm has the more robust announcement because you can order these today. Windows 10 PCs powered by Snapdragon 835. They will be available in more and more places. Amazon, Microsoft stores, JD.com in China, bunch of electronic shops across Europe. Carriers supporting them in LTE connections are China's CMCC, France's Transitel, which is a prepaid provider, Deutsche Telekom, Telefonica Swisscom, EE, Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, AT&T. So they got big names on board. Models available include the Asus Nova Go, HP's NVX2, and Lenovo's Mix 630. We talked about that at CES. HP's version is available for pre-order right now for $1,000, scheduled to ship on March 9th. So these are ultra-thin laptops, supposedly with long battery life, that don't really go all the way to sleep. So you open them up, you just start using them immediately, and they're always connected to LTE. And eventually Qualcomm says we're going to connect these things to 5G as well. Now, Intel has their own version of this, but in sort of classic Intel fashion, they're just a half step behind, but they want to be ahead by the time they get to market. So theirs will be 5G connected from the get-go. Windows 10 PCs coming in the second half of the year. Microsoft, Dell, Lenovo, and HP on board for that. So Microsoft playing in both camps, obviously, because it's Windows. Fewer details on what's going to be in them. And by the time they get to market, Qualcomm may have its Snapdragon 845 versions of these out. So, Sarah, Roger,
yes,
Justin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do these sound appealing? Do they sound out of the $1,000 price point like something you'd want? They do, huh?
I absolutely, since phones have gotten, you can do so many things on your phone, right? But particularly when I'm traveling, I need my laptop. I got to work in a certain way. The laptop experience is very important to me. But then you get into situations where it's like, if there's not Wi-Fi, you got to tether, or you can't, or it's a whole process. To just take that out of the equation and know that if Wi-Fi is available, great. But you got 5G connectivity, where it's available, and in the future more so, just like a phone. And it's that, starting up quickly. I love this idea. I want them to act more like each other than they do now. And this sounds like a good way to do it.
Sorry, go ahead, Roger.
Oh, no, I was just saying, from my perspective, it's an awesome, amazing convenience feature. Also would make security a lot more difficult if there wasn't an easily done and identifiable way to turn it off when you need to. So it doesn't automatically always have to start. Like it's an option for you, because you don't know you might have something on your laptop that maybe you necessarily doesn't need in that.
Well, I'm assuming it's protected by logins and such, just like your phone. We've gone through that problem with phones and tablets for sure.
And it would almost certainly be more secure if it has a direct 5G connection than if you're connecting to dodgy free Wi-Fi's randomly, right? I mean, that would be a far greater security risk.
Yes and no. I mean, it depends. Like if you have a machine that's infected and you may not realize it, and it runs in the background and you may not realize it, it's for me just having something that you can just literally flip a switch, it's off, and it's totally off. It's not just off for a couple of apps or just for Windows, but like this connection is absolutely severed. I'd be cool with it. It'd be awesome.
Tom?
I'm waiting for Justin.
Sorry, I was going to talk, and now I am. Allow me. Number one, I agree with Sarah. I've been experimenting by doing a lot of writing at these like really, really cool WeWork co-op spaces that have these awesome amenities called bars. And I just go to a bar and I sit down and I do my writing. And it's better to go to places where they have either Wi-Fi, or now that I can tether with my phone, I just use that. And I feel a lot better doing that because I don't know what random Wi-Fi I would be connecting to otherwise. This is a really, really good idea. And one that I'm kind of surprised that we are not seeing a bigger push, because if we are to go back in time, friends, imagine the sounds of 2009. The #1 song in the nation was the Black Eyed Peas' Boom Boom Pow, and Google announced the Chrome OS. Yes, the web browser, but also the idea that an always connected future would lead your best version of an operating system not to be managing your local files, but rather to be operating on web applications constantly. We are now 9 years on from that, obviously, but I would guess that the people that Google would have suspected that we would have made greater strides in WiMAX or other kinds of Wi-Fi connectivity by this point. But if we're just talking about 5G connections, then I would say this is the future that Google wanted back then, when it was just like, okay, well, let's just get these products out here so people who are within trusted Wi-Fi networks constantly can have a cheaper PC. But this was the future they saw back in 2009.
Yeah, no, and they weren't the first ones, and they won't be the last. And these aren't the first laptops with connections built in. But both Qualcomm and Intel are trying to push convenience, battery life, ease of use. I mean, I think, Roger, you're bringing up legitimate concerns. These are concerns that are easily dealt with, though. And if these laptops don't deal with those concerns, they are definitely not worth getting. I am assuming that those concerns will be dealt with. That's not what I see as the problem. What I see as the problem, they're already starting to address in their press, which is we're working with the carriers to make more affordable, easy to subscribe to plans. That's where the rubber meets the road. Is how much is this going to cost me? The SIMs are built into these things, which is another good part of this, but that also makes it harder to switch if they want to make it harder to switch. So I have to be able to switch between providers easily, which can be done too. I want to see how that works as well. So that, and whether the battery life claims actually bear out, which they may, battery life claims are usually pretty close to testing. Those are the big concerns that I have.
No, I would agree with you there. This is only as good as it is affordable, because they're selling it on a budget price and they need to have a budget life cycle.
Hey, thanks to everybody who participates in our subreddit. You can submit stories and vote on them at dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com and facebook.com/groups/dailytechnewsshow. We get the emails. If you wondered where the emails went, we have them. Sarah, what are some of them?
Let's start with one from Dylan, who says it's unreasonably cold and snowy in Vancouver, BC. Okay, on Wednesday's show, we were all talking about AI and the concept of ethics and getting more people than just engineers involved in building these things that we're going to be using. So he mentioned, Sarah said she didn't know any ethicists, which it's true. I don't, or I didn't anyway, until we met Dylan. Dylan's a PhD candidate studying the philosophy of technology. And he says, my work isn't purely upon ethics, but deals with social, cultural, moral, and existential dimensions of technology and how humans relate to and experience it. Just thought I'd say hello, let you know I'm in the audience. Should the need for ethicists arise, I'm here.
Yeah. And in a further email to him, he made it very clear. He's like, I don't claim to be an actual ethicist. My advisor would be very upset with me if I did.
Right. Ethicist
but it's good
candidate.
It's good to have a philosopher in the audience.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dylan.
Well, I knew as soon as we said that yesterday that you'd come out of the woodwork because, we got a great
DTNS's house philosopher, Dylan. Mike in sunny Oman wrote, regarding the story on the new Uber service where you can walk 2 blocks to pick up your ride, seems to be a competitor to Via, a largely East Coast service. I use Via when I'm in DC because unlike a bus, I typically make it to work in 10 to 15 minutes versus 1 hour or more on the bus. A week pass from Via was $10, which was less than the Metro and 30 minutes faster. I actually like that Via asked me to meet the car on the corner of a well-traveled street. My home's in the middle of a crowded street with lots of construction. Both Uber and Lyft rarely accurately let me set my location on a corner. Lyft frequently arrives in a back alley surrounded by dumpsters where I've personally witnessed activities inappropriate to describe on a family show.
Oh, no, you should have described. No, I'm just kidding.
Careful what you wish for.
We'll just use our imagination. Isn't it crazy that it's not only cheaper than the Metro in Washington, D.C., but also a half hour faster if you're really trying to get where you're going? How could a Metro ever survive with services like this?
That is interesting to me because what's funny is I took the train downtown LA on Tuesday, and going downtown was much faster on the train than it would have been to drive. But coming back was would have been much faster to drive than to be on the train. So it's weird how that stuff works out.
I've also, not so much with Lyft, but I did, in fact, at one of my old workplaces in San Francisco, I had complained to Uber a million times that every time they picked me up at work, they went to the back alley. And it's like, there was actually no way to get back there. I'd have to call them and be like, no, please come to the front, the address that I gave you. And so that is actually a problem. I mean, not a huge problem, but it's an annoyance, I know, for more than a few of us.
Yeah. And navigation apps do that. They will decide that like a back alley or something is closest to the address and direct people there. Which is one of the reasons Roger always has to go around the block 6 times when he comes to my house, because it keeps trying to send him somewhere he can't get to.
True story. Yeah. Although it's more like 4.5 times.
Yeah, all right. I'll give you that.
Thanks to Justin Robert Young, our Thursday bearer of news, comedy, politics even. In fact, speaking of politics, what's new with you?
Well, Sarah, I'm so glad you asked, because I have a show where I talk about politics. It's called Politics. It's so easy to remember. You just say the same word 3 times. But also, listeners to DTNS, I've plugged for the last couple of weeks that I got a live show coming up in San Francisco. It is March 1st. It's literally a week from today. You can go to bit.ly/SF sex show. This is because we're breaking down the best American political sex scandals of all time in a bracket format. And I am here to tell you that as I speak to you, there are 4 tickets left before this thing is a hard sellout. So go ahead and get your tickets now or forever hold your peace, because this one is likely going to sell out. Again, you can just find Piano Fight, that is the venue out there in San Francisco, or go to bit.ly/SF sex show, the American sex scandal bracket, March 1st, 7 p.m. Thursday.
Excellent. Do it, folks. The best way to celebrate St. David's Day since putting a leak on your shirt was invented. Hey, earlier this week, we said we needed 19 more people to sign up for the Patreon and nobody leave in order to have at least one more patron than we did last month. 17 of you have answered the call. We just need 2 more. Well, okay, I guess we need
2 more.
3 more, because 2 would make us exactly the same. So, so we need 3 folks, just 3 folks. And the rest of you just hold tight. Don't anybody leave. At patreon.com/DTNS. There's all kinds of cool stuff there to take a look at and get perks. But even if you just sign up at $1, that helps us out tremendously. It means a world of difference to us. Your single dollar bill each month at patreon.com/DTNS.
Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. Send us an email, ask a question, let us know if you're an ethicist, etc. We're live Monday through Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 21:30 UTC. More information at dailytechnewsshow.com/live.
It's our monthly roundtable show tomorrow. Jeff Canatta and Andrew Hawn. We'll talk to you then.
Bye-bye.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
What a lovely show.
I enjoyed it.
I quite enjoyed that.
You know what I also enjoyed? I don't know if I should admit this, but I enjoyed the song Boom Boom Pow back in 2009 because it was so stupid that it was lovable to me.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think anybody who doesn't like it is so 2000 and late.
That was... Yeah. I just remember that just making it to the, what was it, the song of the year, or like, the top 10 songs of that year.
I think that was the year they might have also did the Super Bowl halftime show. I think it was behind that album that they did the halftime show. But no, Black Eyed Peas back in the news, of course, because Fergie murdered the national anthem.
Right. I did find her
critically wounded it.
I found her response to be kind of I don't know, endearing, I guess.
Oh yeah, look,
because she's like, listen, I was trying to do something cool. I have a lot of respect for the All-Star game. Sorry. Instead of like, I don't know, there being some big thing about it.
No, look, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. She certainly took a shot. I think the problem is not that she did that during the All-Star game. The NBA All-Star game has a rich history of doing off-kilter national anthems, like with Marvin Gaye, probably one of the best national anthems of all time. The problem is that with that version, Fergie's not that kind of singer. If Fergie had done something that was less traditional, but more like the songs that she has had hits with, I think it would have been better received. Like that, to me, and obviously she's dead, but somebody who's like Amy Winehouse or something like that, I think would have murdered.
I thought you were going to say Whitney Houston, but also applies.
Oh, so many of those words.
I don't, and please somebody send me a link or email us at feedback@dailytechnewsshow if you can give me an example of that whole voice trick version of the national anthem that is like cool, because my favorites, and the Whitney Houston one is probably the best one ever that I can think of that I've seen. They're just straight. You just sing the damn thing. Darn, sorry. Just sing it. What is all this? What is all these what's going on
here? That's
what
Nike advises.
Just sing it.
The Super Bowl is where you do power anthem, right? That's just like big raw vocal talent. Like, Whitney Houston is like the biggest one there. I get it with the All-Star game. I mean, again, like go.
But who wants that? Even if Fergie had hit notes better, because part of it was like, ooh, not quite hitting that note, Does somebody want that version if it was done flawlessly? I'm not saying they don't. I just want to know.
People love, again, Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye is the reason why she did it. The Marvin Gaye national anthem at the...
Well, you don't follow Marvin Gaye. That's rule number 1 in life.
Fair point.
You can't outdo Marvin Gaye.
Just don't do that. Yeah, don't. That's the way to fail. Anyway,
there is the footage of her rehearsing.
Really?
Yeah, you can tell that this is something that I'm sure some of the technical staff that was working with her is like, oh, I don't know about this one. Specifically in comparison to the Bare Naked Ladies who did the Canadian national anthem at the All-Star game. They came on, sang it through once, and they were off to dinner. We'll see you guys later for the show.
I liked that, actually. I mean, I didn't hear the rehearsal, but I mean, when they sang it before the game, I was like, wow, Bare Naked Ladies sound pretty good.
Home and native land, true patriot love.
No, they sounded more like a church choir. They were very...
Oh, they were very reverential.
Yeah.
Nothing but a 5G thing.
Done.
Yeah.
Hey,
Love it.
That's brilliant.
It would
Always on
technically you would want to say ain't nothing, but I don't know if we want to put ain't in our title.
Is it in the song Nuthin, Nuthin?
I'm relying on you guys to advise me
Well,
on
I
the
don't know.
style.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it,
Nuthin, but a G thing.
and it's Thang.
THA. So Beatmaster has
wait a minute.
correctly spelled everything.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, I guess there is no ain't in the actual
Is there
title.
an apostrophe at the end of nothing?
There is an apostrophe
There is.
after nothing. Nuthin apostrophe, but a G thing.
So, and then you just add the 5, and
Baby
you've
is
got
implied.
title gold.
Title
Title gold.
You can supply your own baby.
Going crazy with 5G connectivity.
Whatever you do, just watch your back if you're playing volleyball in a bikini.
Yes.
That I don't get.
You don't get. There's the video for nothing but a G thing. There's
People playing volleyball? I don't remember that, but I believe you.
playing
Oh, yeah.
volleyball, and somebody comes up and
Oh, does the thing. I do remember that. And then she chases him. Gosh, now it's all flooding back.
I actually am picturing myself in my apartment in Austin watching that video.
yeah, and then there was the Jimmy the cab driver interstitials that they used to do where he was talking about that video and he's like, remember that time when the guy comes up and he smears all the fuzzy stuff on that girl's chest? Because like that's the version of the video that you would see on MTV is the blur.
The fuzzy stuff. I remember it's a great song, first of all, but I do actually remember that part of the video. I had forgotten all about it. And then there's that little baby who's kind of dancing at the like picnic.
Like this, that, and this, and up.
Right. Yeah.
That and like this and like that. No.
And then Warren G shows a bunch of other fuzzy stuff right into the camera.
You can get with this. You could get with that. Just reminded me of that.
Much about those. So just chill till the next episode.
Well, I'm glad we've had this moment together.
Me too. I ate sushi for breakfast, guys. What do you think about that?
Second person that said that. Who else did that this week? Was it Tom?
No, wasn't me.
Now, I know people are like, whoa, but it's like, first of all, it's, I don't know, sometimes in the morning, sometimes I'm just like, I want my coffee and I don't know, like I don't necessarily want to cook anything. I just kind of want to get into life.
Yeah.
And sushi is just, it's easy. It's,
Where'd you get it?
Yeah, that's my question.
I ordered it.
So you order fresh sushi for breakfast?
Oh, sorry. Minor detail. I ordered sushi last night.
Got it.
And
Okay.
got more knowing that I would eat it for breakfast this morning, which I
So
did.
it was leftover sushi.
It was leftover sushi that
I
had been
think that's an
refrigerated
important
overnight.
element of this conversation.
Okay.
I
Well,
had
like whether it was
leftover
leftover or not, I
for
ate it.
breakfast. Yeah.
Well, no. All right. So number one, the most remarkable part of that conversation, if it were not leftover sushi, would be that a sushi place delivered before.
Sure. Definitely.
Well, and you know, hear you me. If sushi restaurants were open for breakfast, I would get sushi more often.
Or the conversation could have taken a dark turn, and Sarah said, I just ran down to the gas station and got sushi.
And got my sushi there. Yeah, right. It was good. There was a lot left over. I was like, I'm not throwing this away. I'm eating this tomorrow.
Ain't nothing but
I would say
sushi,
that
baby.
leftover sushi for breakfast is not only delicious, it is a ticking clock. You know, you don't want to leave leftover sushi in the fridge.
No,
That's
breakfast
exactly right. It's
is
breakfast or
the-
it's nothing.
Yeah, that's the latest time to eat your leftover sushi, unless it was ordered for lunch.
It also, there's an art to it, right? Because you can't leave it out all night. You got to put it in the
Yeah.
fridge, but then you don't want it to be super cold because then it's like, that's not right.
And then you have to microwave
Leave it out about 30 minutes before you're actually going to start ingesting, and then everything
Always-
slows down.
Could you? Okay, this is a crazy thought. I'm just going to put that right out there in front. Could you fry up your leftover sushi?
Well, yeah.
Make
You
like
could,
fried
but
rice and
it would just, I don't know. That's different. That's just like a fishbowl.
Yeah.
Might be good though.
That's why
Now that I'm thinking about it.
Man, it's crazy, but
I think some of the rolls would be problematic because they've got like
the
and stuff.
nori isn't gonna play well. Yeah.
And little pieces of carrot and stuff. But I don't know. Let's give it a try. We'll do it again tomorrow.
Sushi omelets.
I'm with Sarah. I just think this is a whole new vertical for sushi places. Like just open that, just do a little service right there at you're not too early. Like you don't get to be up for the 6 o'clock for the morning rush, but like maybe at 10 o'clock open, maybe even earlier, 9 o'clock.
Because I'll admit, now the more I'm thinking about it, I have done musubi for breakfast in Hawaii, where you get they make like spam, egg, and potato musubi in a little rice package.
Well, I've certainly, I can't totally think of where exactly they were, but there were certain places in Japan. I can remember one hotel that kind of like included a really nice buffet breakfast. And I mean, not all of it was sushi, but some of it was. And it's like, this is great. Fish for breakfast. Love
breakfast sushi, not just tamago anymore.
That's egg. See, Tom's being kind of a hot shot right now. Get it? Eggs, breakfast. Yes. I also eat eggs for dinner, and that's not a problem to me either. I don't think food needs to be in like time of day categories. I think that we're all selling ourselves short.
Yeah, I eat eggs all the time for dinner.
Yeah, good.
When you make breading, or you make it in part of a larger dish, Korean food.
Well, you shouldn't overdo eggs. They are not as bad as we have been led to believe.
Well, they're not bad for you. You just need to eat in line with what your health requirements are.
Yeah.
I would say I mean, it was sushi this morning because I had it, but almost 7 days a week, I have 2 fried eggs. So I'll throw other stuff in there, but I mean, that's what I'm eating in the morning because it's kind of sticks to the ribs, tastes good, easy to do, the whole thing.
If I don't know. Hopefully eggs enough, I notice. I start craving them.
They're just so good. You put a little kimchi in there. Yum.
Ooh. Yeah. Kimchi, far underused. I would like to see a lot more kimchi.
Well, and also, especially at like more, like the Whole Foods type grocery stores, there's a whole section now, right? It's kimchi and fermented and sauerkraut and the whole thing. And they're different colors and various spice levels. And that stuff, and they all taste different depending on the brand, but it's like you throw in a little at the end of your eggs just so it warms up. And it does change the kimchi taste a little bit to like slightly less tang. It's really good with eggs.
Yeah.
Really good.
There are 2 California kimchi makers because I generally prefer to get kimchi that's from South Korea, which we can get at the Japanese market near my house. But there are 2 California brands that I can find at Ralph's. One of them is great. It's like almost as good as like the real thing. In fact, I bet it's indistinguishable if I didn't see the jar. There's another one though that I would not. It's the Taco Bell of kimchi. Like it's shredded. It's not leaves. If it tastes more like sauerkraut, it's not really spicy. But I've started to fall in love with it on its own on sandwiches because it's not as wet as sauerkraut. So it goes on a sandwich really nice and it gives a little vinegary flavor to it. And so I'm struggling. Like, I don't want to buy this as kimchi. Can you just change the label to say something else? Cause it's definitely not kimchi that you're selling here, but it's pretty good. Though.
I just love that anything that's like that certain kind of tang, that kind of fermented kombucha, kimchi, kind of that vinegar type thing. Probably eat too much of that stuff. I don't know.
Well, and Bleak points out there is a spectrum of kimchi. Kimchi isn't all the same. So maybe this is just a kind I need to allow into my spectrum.
Why is this? I don't care for it. No.
I love the kimchis though.
I do too. I love them. It's been a really good eating week so far. Had a cheeseburger the other day at my favorite place.
Nice.
Everyone knows where that is. Had my sushi for breakfast. Had a couple of egg and kimchis since I got back from being out of town. What's next? What do I have for dinner tonight?
Hold on. Can we go back to sushi real quick? What are we talking about sushi wise? Like
What's a typical order?
Yeah. What was the breakfast order?
Probably like a second half of a spicy tuna roll, second half of a spider roll, and like 2 pieces of hamachi and sake, which is salmon nigiri.
Ooh, yeah, not sake the drink, people.
I did not. Right.
No.
Although sake the drink as sushi. Somebody want to figure that out? I'll give it a try.
Man, I'm upset. We already ran out of our Kit. We bought sake flavored Kit Kats in Japan.
Oh, we had those too. You can get those on Amazon, actually.
Really? Ew.
Yeah.
I actually haven't had sake in a really long time because I've been ordering sushi more than I've been going, and like you don't order, or I don't know. Maybe some of the places will deliver sake.
I'm sure Postmates would.
Well, I think Well, I don't know actually because I've been using Uber Eats so much lately, but it seems, at least at one point, that it's like the alcohol offerings had been separated from restaurants.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think that they can. Well, because also I don't know if the restaurants can legally sell booze.
I don't either. Yeah. Although I did was it Postmates or Uber Eats? There was I don't know, sometime in the last month. I was having some people over, and I was like, I don't have time to leave, but like I need like a couple bottles of wine, and they did make a big deal, in the notifications of like, you're going to have to present, government issued ID or passport or whatever to, prove, which was not a problem. But then the guy, it was Postmates, some wine shop that they have a partnership with. And the guy, I had my passport because my driver's license is, I don't know, it's been tragically lost. And he was like, ooh, I don't know how to do this without your driver's license. And I'm like, well, I mean, nothing better than a passport for universal understanding that this is me, and I'm taking that wine with me. So figure it out.
How old are you according to this passport? I can't read numbers. I was not trained.
Finally, it was because they have to like enter stuff, right? And it's just set up for driver's licenses, at least in California. And I was like, take a picture of my passport, and I'll see you later. So hopefully he didn't get in trouble.
Yeah, so it's not even. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh no, I'm just saying it's just the fact that they had to do something differently and it would take longer that bugged them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing something differently.
What's that?
We're going a little longer in the post show than we did yesterday.
Hey.
All right. Everyone say your final words.
That's our cue.
We're getting
But seriously, but what should I eat? I'm really hungry.
Well, see, here's the problem is we started ordering more Tovala meals for the smart oven.
Uh-huh.
They're really good.
Huh.
So
that's not going to help me eat lunch, Tom.
No, it's not going to help. I'm sorry.
Well, I do have to go back to Staples, so maybe I'll just figure out something over there.
Grab noodles. Is there a ramen place along the way?
There is a ramen place-ish along the way.
This might be a little farther than you want to go, but there's a great musubi place that I went to recently on Washington.
Washington, and is it
Washington Boulevard? It's like,
well, yeah, but like how far east?
Like A-frame-ish.
Give me a cross.
I don't know any across.
Everyone wave real quick.
East of the 405.
Oh no, it's our side of the 405.
Oh, well then, great.
Justin, Sarah, Tom, wave.
Goodbye.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.